Australia is in the middle of a full-blown rental crisis, and it's getting worse. Rents are rising faster than wages, vacancies are at record lows, and millions of Aussies are finding it harder than ever to secure a place to live. So just how bad is it? As of October 2025 figures, we're continuing to see record low rental vacancies, meaning people can't find places to live. And if they can, there's a line around the corner, full of others, desperate to find a home. With high demand comes high prices, and as you can see, the prices just keep going up and up, with the total median rent rising by over 43% in the last 5 years, adding over $10,000 to the average Aussie's rental bill. Now, keeping in mind, that's the national median figures, and as we know, rental prices have increased substantially more in some areas. So what about supply? The Albanese government pledged supply growth to support the overwhelming demand. How is that looking? The rental crisis is certain to worsen. The latest dwelling construction data from the ABS show that the number of dwelling completions nationally fell by 2% in 2024 to 2025, tracking just below 66,000 or 27% below the Albanese government's housing construction target. So there you have it. As you can see here, a fantastic chart by Chief Economist Leith Van Onselen at macrobusiness.com showing the ABS figures against the Albanese government's housing target. So what about immigration? It's well known more people mean more demand. So are we considering our underperformance in the supply against reasonable demand from immigration? Late last month, the former Deputy Secretary of the Immigration Department, Abul Rizvi, forecast that Australia's net overseas migration will track around 300,000 annually under the current immigration policies, 15% higher than the Treasury's forecast. Now again, that's the former Deputy Secretary of the Immigration Department. Prior to the COVID-19 pandemic, Australia only exceeded 300,000 once in history, in 2008-2009 under Rudd. Now, this is another quality chart from the macro business team, showing long-term immigration figures against the insanity that we are experiencing today. So what's the impact on housing? The National Housing Supply and Affordability Council's latest State of the Housing System report, released in May, estimated that if Australia's population grows 15% faster than projected, as suggested it will by Abul Rizvi, then Australia's housing shortage will increase by around 200,000 over 5 years. This 200,000 forecast increase in the housing shortage is on top of the current cumulative shortage of at least 200,000 homes, calculated by AMP Chief Economist Shane Oliver. Now, I wanted to clearly explain this really informative chart. As you can see, if we maintain the baseline that the government has indicated, we're looking at a housing deficit of around 75,000 over the next 5 years. Now, again, this is on top of the 200,000 we're already experiencing. Moving on. If we hit the former Deputy Secretary's forecast of a 15% increase above the current baseline, we're looking at extreme levels of housing deficits around 400,000 within 5 years. But if we simply lowered the current immigration baseline by just 15%, that's it. As you can see on the chart to the right, we'd flip back into surplus levels and have an opportunity to relieve the housing pressure. Just 15%. So why don't we do this? Well, Australia has an ageing population, and this has been presented as one of the key drivers. Governments want economic growth, another objective reason to increase immigration. Low fertility rates, people don't want to have kids or big families, not that you can really afford it anymore anyway. Skills shortages, engineers, tradies, people to support infrastructure and construction. Now there's many counters to all these arguments, but I'll leave it here. I want to know what you think. Let me know in the comments below. What do you think is driving this rental crisis? Is immigration a key factor? Or is it something else? If you're liking the content, hit that like and subscribe button, and we'll be back with more soon.